The reality is at the moment, for a lot of people, not just in developing countries, even in developed countries, they cannot access higher education. This is because of the obscene cost people have to pay to be able to pay to access higher education. And scholarships have come in to be able to address this particular gap. They provide usually full funding for somebody to be able to access higher education for an undergraduate degree or for a postgraduate degree. But often this process is very competitive. People have to submit application documents and then someone has to be picked from the process. And for a lot of people that are watching this video who have thought about applying for a scholarship, the thought of them getting this opportunity is almost non-existent. And some of you have even taken the time to remove yourself from the process. You have said, you know what? I don't think I'm the right person for these opportunities. They are looking for certain kind of people and I don't think I fit what they're looking for. In this set of videos, I am going to try as much as possible to provide information that takes someone from the beginning of the process to the very end. Someone that has never applied for a scholarship before to be able to take them through the entire process from the beginning to the time when they have now gotten on that plane or they have started their studies. It will be a series that I will try as much as possible to break it down for you to be able to follow the process and at the end to be able to make an informed decision. And today, I am going to start with personal inventory, which is episode 1. Before you can apply for a scholarship, it is always important that you take some time to introspect. You have to be able to ask yourself some questions, because these questions are going to be very useful when you're going to be applying for a scholarship opportunity. Often, these are questions that a scholarship is going to ask of you in one way or another. They are going to ask it either when you're submitting the documents, or if you have been able to progress to the stage of an interview, you'll be asked these questions. It is therefore important to be able to think about responses to these questions. And I'll have to point this out before I get the specific questions that you have to start to think about. The person who has answers to these questions is you. And I'll repeat that. The person who has answers to these questions is you. It's not like mathematics where 1 + 1 is equal to 2. These are questions to be able to probe for somebody to get to know you better. So therefore, when you're thinking about responses to these questions, think about them within the lines of somebody is trying to know you and they're just giving these questions to be able to probe to get a lot more information. So the very first question that somebody is trying to get, which is the overall question, is who are you as a person? And asked another way, they're trying to understand who are you professionally. They don't want to know all the things about you, but they're more interested to understand your professional life. And we can break it down to look at your education background. If you're somebody who is applying for a scholarship for undergraduate studies, possibly your reference point could be, who have you been as a student in secondary school or in high school? What were your grades like? Which subjects did you like? Why did you like those subjects? Is there anything that you found interesting about those subjects? Beyond you being a student, you may have been active. There may have been societies or clubs in your secondary school. Were you involved in them? What did you do? What contributions did you make? It could be maybe you're a member of a chess club and there's something that you did there. Or you're somebody who was involved in athletics and there's something that you did there. These are some of the things that people would want to know about you. For someone who is going to be applying for a master's, then they look at different things as well. Similarly to the one that we're talking about in the undergrad, but possibly we have to look at certain things, like work experience, for example. Are you somebody that has worked before? There are a few scholarships that will be able to ask these questions. And the response is usually not just saying, okay, I've worked for this organization. They're trying to understand, what have you done in that organization? What contributions did you make in that organization? Did you register any achievements? Did you face any challenges and how did you resolve them? So just get a bit of an understanding of all that. Beyond your work experience, they also want to understand what is your passion, what are things that you are passionate about. And again, these are things that can range depending also on the things that you are passionate about. So when you start to think about it, you start now to realize that these are questions where only you can provide the answers to those questions. Still thinking about who you are and who you have been, there's a lot more to you. What are some of the skills that you have? Do you have any skills? How have you used those skills? And most importantly, you may have made a decision to study law. Why did you make that decision to study law? You have made a decision to study psychology. Why have you made that decision to study psychology? One of the things you're going to realize, and I'll keep repeating this, is there is no one else who has an answer to that question except you. So when you think about these questions, you start to realize one thing. I need to have some time to think through these questions, which is where I encourage people to take some time. Reflect on these questions. Take a pen and a paper. Write down the responses that you're getting to these questions. And why is that important? It's because, first of all, it's going to help you get to know who you are. And by knowing who you are, it is also going to guide the particular forms of applications that you're going to make. It will help you decide whether you should do a master's or you shouldn't do a master's at all, whether you should do a bachelor's degree or you shouldn't do a bachelor's degree at all. Because at the end of the day, all these things has to be able to fit in who you are and who you are planning to be. So I'll leave you with this. Personal inventory is something that you have to do. It's something that you have to do actually at the moment. If you're planning to apply next year, this is the time to be able to do your personal inventory. So get your pen, get your paper, spend some time to ask yourself these difficult questions. Who are you? What are you passionate about? What are some of the things you consider to be your achievements in a professional setting? Have you had work experience? What are some of the achievements you have registered in your workplace? And so on and so forth. Get to know yourself, because by knowing yourself, you'll be able now to develop very competitive application process, not because you are writing to convince someone, but you are writing because you understand who you are and therefore you're able to communicate your story better. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you again in the next one.